All right, so today we're going to talk about our final project, which is going to be Unit 4, Lesson 4, which is the make stage of our variables lesson. So we are going to create this application called the photo liker. And so first we're going to navigate to Lesson 4, Level 2 in order to see a working copy of this application. Now we're not going to be able to see the source code because the point is that we're going to analyze how this program, this application works, and then reproduce it. The cool part is, though, that you're going to be provided with the user interface. You don't have to replicate that. You only have to analyze how it works in order to code the application. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and you can too. There's a link on the Pear Deck. And this is the application that you will be coding. So let's go ahead and let's just try all the buttons. And it says also to add a comment to the picture. So one of the functionalities is that you can actually add a comment here. So let's run it. And there are some buttons. There's like a like and then unlike. You can add in a comment. So yes, Edward, this is what we're doing today. So I can say, so cute, and then press this button right here to add the comment here. And it looks like I can I can like it as much as I want, or I can dislike it as much as I want as well. So it's a basic counter pattern, it looks like. Okay. Yeah, so we've got like counter patterns for increasing and decreasing. We've got some setting of text in this field and getting of text, so we can set it over here. Like I can put, this is my cat. Post that on there. Using also the new lines to make sure that each comment is on a new line as well. So kind of using everything that we've learned as far as this unit so far. So let's go ahead and think about these questions. I'm going to go back to the Pear Deck here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time, a couple minutes, to answer these questions. And if you need to take a look at that application again, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat. So just take some time, play around with the application, and answer these questions. What does this app do? What are the inputs? What are the outputs? And what's one piece of information that might be stored in a variable? So I'll give you, 2 to 3 minutes to kind of play around and answer those questions. And if you just came in, here's a link to the Pear Deck and a link to the application that we are trying out right now. All right, so if you haven't put anything into the Pear Deck yet, go ahead and start now. Give you another minute. Oops, sorry about that. There you go. All right, so I know some of you are still typing, but we've got a lot of great answers, and I'm just going to pick some. Just because I don't pick yours doesn't mean it wasn't a good answer. A lot of you have kind of the same idea. So let's go ahead and take a look. So one of the questions was, what does the app do? And so a lot of you mentioned that it shows a picture, and then it allows you to like or dislike and to be able to comment. So that's absolutely correct. And then the next question was, what are the inputs? And so let's see, this person kind of summarizes that the inputs are mouse clicks and typing. So you can click on the like and dislike buttons, and you can click on the comment button, and you can also type in a comment into a text field. And then the third question was, what are the outputs? And so let's see, one particular output would be to actually see the comment on the screen. So you see that right there. And another is to actually see the amount of likes, right? Whether it's a positive or negative number. Was there a sound? Sorry, let's see, was there also a sound? Let's see. Oh yeah, there is a sound. I forgot about that. So there's a clicking sound every time you press on like or dislike. So yeah, that would be another output, is the sound that it makes. Good job. And then the last question was, what was something that could be stored in a variable? One piece of information that might be stored in a variable. And let's see, I think most of you decided that the amount of likes is something that could be stored in a variable, right? Using a counter pattern, either a positive or a negative number. Awesome, so great job analyzing that application. This is gonna help us reproduce the logic that makes this application work, which is what you're doing for your final. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the Pear Deck. Okay, so this is your final. You're gonna make the photo liker. And you're gonna be provided with an activity guide. You actually have your own copy on Google Classroom. So let me go ahead and direct you there. So I'm gonna go over to Unit 4. And if you follow this link, so follow that link right there, you will be able to open up this Google Doc. And this is your own copy that you can open up. So if you edit this, it's completely yours, just like when we did the Unit 3 project. I'm going to put that link in the chat because I saw someone else rejoin. So go ahead and open up this Google Doc. Take a look at it for a moment, and we'll walk through it. Okay, and if you're just joining us, if you're a little bit late, we are going over what you will be doing for the final project. And I am recording this session, so if you missed the beginning, you can watch to catch up. Okay, so the latest link I put in the chat links you to the assignment in Google Classroom. And what I did is I simply opened up the graphic organizer that is in that assignment. So it should be the second link right here. The first link is the actual level on code.org where you will be coding this application. Okay, so let's go over the guide. So this is your goal. You're going to write the code that makes the Photo Liker app actually function. You're already going to be given the user interface with all the screen elements and all that good stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about coding it to make it work. We already went through these questions about what the application does, the inputs, the outputs, and a piece of information that might be stored in a variable. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to open up the project. And actually, I'm going to open up number 3. This is where we're actually going to be working with everything. So I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat in case you can't find it. So this is where you're actually going to be adding your code and all that good stuff. So what I want to do before I even start coding is I want to start looking at the elements, because I know that some of these elements are going to have event handlers attached to them. So particularly the buttons that I have, right? So when I click on this up button, I probably want to increase my likes. When I click on this button right here, the down button, I probably want to decrease my likes. And then this button right here, the comment button, I probably want to I want to grab the text that's over here in the comment field, and I want to put it over here to the comment screen. Okay, so I'm going to help you plan this out using this activity guide. And let me see if I can share my whole screen so I can do this side by side. Advanced. Yeah, for some reason they took away the ability to share your whole screen, and I can only share a window, which is interesting. Okay, well, I'll just have to switch back and forth then. Okay, so let's take a look at step 2, plan. Fill in the information in the table below for each event handler. Okay. Oh, that's nice. We actually have the names of everything here. So let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay. So what element do you see right here? What element do you see that probably needs an event handler? Something that the program needs to do if I click that particular element. So again, what element do you see in this area? Where I'm kind of circling with my mouse. And there could be more than one. I just want you to identify one. Okay, Dylan says everything except for the image. Yeah, let's just start with one. So Brandon said the up button. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put up button. And what should happen when I click on the up button? So when I click on the up button, what should happen? Okay, so we're gonna increase the likes by 1, right? So we probably need a like variable, but we'll get to that. Okay. And then what's the opposite of our up button here that we see? Yeah, so we probably want something for a down button. So what happens when I click on the down button? When I click on the down button, what happens? Yeah, so decrease the likes by 1. Cool. Okay, we have one other button here. What is it called? Comment button. Yes, comment button. So think about what happened when I clicked on the comment button. What should happen when I click on the comment button? What's it gonna do? Nothing unless you have something typed, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and test it out. Let me see, do I have that open? Yes. Okay. If I press it with nothing in there, it does look like it does nothing, but let me see if that's true. Huh. Actually, Allison, it looks like it actually just puts a new line in there if there's nothing in there. So it'll still do something. No, that's totally fine. Like, I wasn't sure myself. I had to test that out. So it looks like it'll post whatever is in the new comment. And if it's nothing, guess what? It's going to put that empty string in there. But because of the way that this is coded, it also adds in a new line. So it adds in that empty string with a new line, which is why we see this big separation between this first comment here and the next comment that had content in it. But you're totally right. It will post the comment. So let's break down the steps of what is necessary to actually bring that comment over here. Let me go over here. Okay, so notice we're typing our comment in this field right here in new comment input. So what it does is when I click on the comment button, we get the text from, from new comment input and set the text grabbed from that area, or I should say element, of, what is it called? All comments output. So we are getting the text from here and setting the text of this area to the text that we got. This is exactly what we saw in the reminder app. So if you aren't sure how to do that, look back at the reminder app or at the recording that I did it in and see how that was done. So one thing that we need to add in here is we're getting the text from the new comment input and we're setting the text grabbed from that element of all comments input to that text with a new line before it. So remember, new line is like that. Okay, so we're putting a new line before each new comment so that it's kind of looking like a list. And this might be the most confusing part of it. But again, hint, look at the reminder app for how this is done. Okay, and of course I will help you if you get stuck as well. Okay, so let's now think about variables. You all kind of identified one variable already to stand for the number of likes. So we can just call that likes, right? And of course that variable stores the current number of likes. Negative means there are more dislikes. Okay. All right, is there anything else that needs a variable? What do you think? Let's take a look at our app. Comments. Yeah, we could actually use, we don't need to, but it would clean up the code a little bit. The string that is entered in the new comment input, we could definitely store it in there before we actually put it onto the all comments input. We could. Unless you're talking about, are you talking about, hang on, let me go back here. I think you might be meaning something else. Do you mean like all the comments right here? Or do you mean like the new comment? All, yes. You're kind of remembering how we did the reminder app, which we were doing the same thing is we kept joining. You didn't do the reminder app. Okay, well then you're just really you're catching on really quickly then, Allison. Great job. We want to keep a running total of all the comments, and we every time there's a new comment, we just join it onto that string. So let's rewrite this. So let's actually call this all comments to make it really clear that this is all of the comments that have been entered so far. So this is going to be the string that holds all comments for this picture. Every time a new comment is added, we want to add that string to all comments. Okay, so we're going to repeatedly be using the addition symbol, which is concatenate. Okay, so that every time we add a new comment, we're not losing the old comments, we're just adding on that new comment to the end of that string. Okay, cool. All right. Any other variables? I think those are the two that are necessary, because we want to keep track of all the comments and we want to keep track of all the likes. I think that's good. I noticed that they only had 2 spaces for us, so that's probably a clue. We could definitely do other variables, but it's not necessary. Okay, so step 3 is actually starting to write your code. So write your code for the app using the plan above and the comments provided in Code Studio to help. Here are some steps that you can follow. Create all the variables from your table. Oh yeah, sorry. Here. Is that good? You can hear my spouse typing away. Fourth period? What do you mean? There's no 4th period today. It's a 1-3-5 day. Savannah, there's no 4th period today. You might be thinking about next week. Next week is a 1-7. Today's 1-3-5. Thank you, Edward. All right, so the first step we want to do is we want to create all the variables at the very top of our program. No, that's Friday. Friday is our assembly day. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. The schedule is on our school website if you need to see it. But yeah, it's Friday is our assembly day. Okay, so first step is create the variables from your table above. So let's get started together. Why not? So if you want to go ahead and get started, if you don't have this open already, there's the link. So I'm going to do this in text mode, but you don't have to. I'm going to get started by just creating my variables. So I'm going to say var. First one is going to be my likes. What value should my likes start at? What should be the starting value for likes? 0. Perfect. And then we also have another variable that's going to store our string of all our comments. I'm going to call that all comments, which should be the starting value of all comments. This can be a tricky question. Yeah, I would say empty string, except for the fact that they want this comment on there by default to start off with. So we're gonna go ahead, and I don't care if you do it exactly like this. You could put another starting comment in there if you want, but the one that they wanted to start with was OMG so cute with, what is that, 4 O's. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my starting value for all comments, just because that's what they put here. Okay, so that's how you start off. And it's 11:30 at this point, so that is where we're gonna pause. I went ahead and I started you off with your variables, and on your own, you can start doing the event handlers. Now, if you have questions about it, on Wednesday, everyone's gonna come back, and if you have questions, I can definitely give you some direction into how you're gonna do this. But my hope is that most people will get this finished by the end of this week. You have until your finals day. Yes, it's individual, but you can help each other if you want. Good question, Raslin. There's a yellow triangle because we haven't used these variables in the program yet. Later on, when we add more code, we'll actually be using them. So this is just a warning saying, hey, you created this variable, but you're not doing anything with it yet. And yeah, we don't have any code yet that does anything with it yet, so it's correct. So yeah, to answer your questions, you can help each other. You can work with each other. I can send you to breakout rooms if you prefer talking with other students, but you are turning in your own work individually. Finals week is next week. Okay, since there's some confusion, here, let me pause the